Any better now?
Yeah, it's real soft on mine.
Better now?
Here.
Okay, so I can see we have got 3 or 4 of 5 board members. Is Mark Heineman in the meeting right now? There's a couple logged in that don't have their names up, so I'm just curious if Mark is on. I see we have 2 people that aren't connected with audio yet. 584 and owner. Hi, John.
Hi there.
Okay, folks, I have got 7:01 p.m. and I don't see anyone else trying to join, so we will start the meeting with the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you for joining on another exciting Zoom evening. Does everyone have a copy of the agenda in front of them? I need to add one item. We have excess workers' comp coverage that just came in today. We don't need to act on it. We could act on it at our July meeting, but I thought since it came in today, we might as well go ahead and discuss it. That's the only thing that I have. Does any other board member have anything that they would like to add to the agenda tonight?
No.
Okay. All right. Let's start off with reports. Jamie.
Okay, can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Okay. We'll start off with our road projects. We were able on June 2nd and 3rd to get a start on that Linwood Road from Route 20 north over to Black Street. In them 2 days, we were able to complete it. That project's about 2/3 of the way done. We have to go back in and put shoulders on it, and we're looking at doing that the 3rd week of June. In the meantime, the road will be curing out. It's a cold mix road, so it takes about 4 weeks to cure out. Then we'll go back in and seal it. And right now, talking with Soup Coat, we're looking at hopefully getting in there in oil and stone or otherwise sealing it. Right around the week of the 4th of July, and that will complete that project over there. The other two roads that I had on the agenda for this year was the Oil and Stone, both Sparks and Lower Rogers Road. We did them on May 28th with a lot of success. Everything turned out great on them. So hopefully they'll be there for a while for the long haul and we can move on to other roads. So that's kind of where we are on the road building work. Roadside mowing, the guys will probably be completing that tomorrow. We've been around the whole town, 2 passes on everything, so the roadside mowing's caught up. I'm in the process of calling in a few dig safe stakeouts. We're going to get going on some ditching for a few of the local farmers. We got a couple of requests up on Roanoke that they'd like to have ditched, and we have a few driveways that we have to attend to, but that's what we're going to keep busy with probably from this point forward, along with some road sign work. We have been doing a little bit of work over in Covington the last couple of days on shared services. They're getting ready to pave Silver Lake Road from Lemley Road up to Dodson Road, and we've been helping them with that. And it looks like that project could go maybe next week in earnest as far as paving the road. So we may find ourselves over there helping them out on our shared service. But other than that, it seems like the wheels are starting to get turning around the county a little bit on spending money, and we hope that we can work back and forth with one another and get this work done and try to get through this year. So that's all I have for you guys. Any questions?
No.
All good?
All good for me.
Me
Okay,
too.
all right, thank you.
Okay, John, do you have anything you want to throw in?
No, nothing too much to add outside of what Jamie mentioned. I walked through the shop today and I did see Jamie had the, what do you call them, the frames for the third door, correct, Jamie? For the third overhead door.
Yes, that's correct, John.
But that's all I had.
On them doors, as I showed John, the door frames for that third door, I have talked with Woodruff Overhead Door, and it doesn't look like we'll probably be able to get the frame in that door probably until sometime in the month of July. They're sitting on the third door ready and waiting for us to pull the trigger. So they're going to be available upon our request as quick as I can get it ready, but it's probably going to be the month of July before we get to it.
Okay, we will move on to sewer. Don, do you want to touch us off? And then I've got a couple of things to add too that came in late. But I'll have you go first.
Yeah, it looks like we have a project description now and a price of 570,000? 20, I can't read my own writing. And the description is a pump station, a filter station, and a UV infection system. And I think we're going to vote on the secret tonight, aren't we?
Yes.
So then we can move forward, get some financing.
Yep, and again, this project is anticipated to get a grant, which will pay for 80% of it. And the engineer wanted me to express to all of you that number there, their estimated cost, is their highest possible cost that this thing could be. They hope that it's going to come in well below that. You know, we saw with the water tank that it can still go all over the place, but they're hopeful that that it's actually not going to cost that much. I would say I'm hopeful that it's not going to cost that much.
Me too.
We're likely going to be 80% funded on that. And again, just to remind everybody that this is a requirement by DEC. This is not something that we're doing electively. If we don't do it, we don't have a sewer system anymore.
What was the price on that again? 500 and what?
I have 570,000.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, that's all I have to add on the sewer end of things. Thank you, Obi, very much. We'll move on to code with Jim.
Okay, a couple of things. We had public hearing last Wednesday for Jesse Coots' application for a special use permit for mud bog off-road kind of event that he wants to do a couple, 3 times a year. Had a lot of people down there. Had a lot of people speak. Basically, at this point, it's in a kind of a review. A lot of speculation went on, looking for some more information before they make any decisions or anything like that. But it was a long meeting, but constructive and very interesting. I never experienced anything myself like that, so that was totally new to me. And anything to add to that, Rob?
Nope, nothing for me to add. I guess I would add that the safety protocols under the pandemic laws and regulations were a challenge, but I felt that we did as best as we could under the circumstances. We had 30 seats available for in-person attendees. And unfortunately, we did have to have some people wait out in the parking lot. Halfway through the meeting, we asked if anyone was willing to give up their seat, not that we were forcing them in any way, and a bunch of people did. And then at that point in time, the people that were left in the parking lot came in. But we also streamed the meeting on Zoom, so we had, I don't know, at any given time around 10 people logged in through Zoom. And when we took comments, people that were on Zoom got to comment, people that were there got to comment. It was by no means perfect, but under the circumstances, without spending a ton of money to bring like an event company in here, it was as good as it could be. So I was satisfied with how that went. Let's say that.
What time did it get over?
Right about pretty close to 10 o'clock. I think I got home at quarter after, and that was after we picked up the chairs and tables and stuff.
I think it was about
Wow.
9:45 when it got finished. Yeah. And so the planning board is going to meet again next week. That's going to be a Zoom meeting. The state is still strongly encouraging us to do these meetings over Zoom because their attitude is that it's an unnecessary risk to do it in person. Obviously, we took every safety precaution at the public hearing, and the reason that we did was that we felt that trying to do that entire thing over Zoom was going to deny lots of people their right to comment to the board. And after being there and seeing it, I agree with that assessment. I think that a lot of people would not have been able to get over the technical hurdle to give their comment. You raising your hand, Jamie? Okay. So yeah, but until we hear otherwise, we're still supposed to be doing regular meetings over Zoom.
Okay.
So next week's planning meeting is going to be over Zoom. And I want to let the board know that I spoke with our town attorney, Mark Boylan, about the matter to see if he could give some guidance to the planning board and help them out with it. And he actually said that he was involved in the land sale. So out of an abundance of caution, for fear that parties might feel that he was not a neutral player, I talked with Jim about it, and I've contacted Dave Roach out of Warsaw to provide the planning board with information and guidance on the entire thing. It shouldn't cost us, a vastly different sum of money. It'd be billable hours for Mark or billable hours for Dave Roach. But I want to make sure that we are locked tight on having the fair process and making sure that there's no thumb on the scale in either direction. So I've started conversations with Dave, and he's agreed to do it, but I wanted to get your guys' opinion on if you were okay with following that line of logic.
I think it's a good line.
I would agree, and Dave's a good attorney to use.
Okay, good. Thank you. Jim, do you have any more?
Yeah, a couple more things. We have an application from Owen Guile.
Jim's having an internet hiccup right now. We'll just wait a minute to see if he comes back to us. Okay, I'm gonna skip ahead and we'll go back to Jim when he gets back in. Is Mark Heineman here? I don't think he's logged in, but I don't want to give his report if he's with us. Okay, so our water tank is back out to bid. I've been getting updates from John Hinman. Right now, we have nearly triple the amount of people with that bid spec in their hands that we had last time. So there is absolutely more interest this time around than there was last December. I just late this afternoon, right before I came down, got a really nice phone call. He said that there's now a third tank manufacturer in the mix. They were unable to bid before. They weren't allowed to have operations in New York State, and now they just got green light to go ahead with operations, and so they are at least looking at the project. We won't know who's bidding until we, open the sealed bids, but that's, increases our chances of getting a beneficial bid by a third. So that's good news, but we'll just have to wait and see, for bid opening. I think that's all there is regarding water. We're just going to have to wait and see. All the, logistics are in play. We do have a public interest order tonight on the agenda that we need to pass before we can go through with bonding. That was one that we had passed last year, but since there's an updated number, we need to pass it again. And I'll talk about that when we get down into those orders of business. So I would like to wait just another 60 seconds or so to see if Jim gets back to us here. I don't want to get back. I don't want to get into the business until Jim is back if he can do it.
Is the next planning board meeting next Wednesday night?
Yes, it's next Wednesday night. The login data is going to be posted on the website for the Zoom meeting, and I'm probably going to just run IT that night because it's complicated to run a meeting and be on it at the same time. So I'm trying to work with the members to make sure that nobody's going to have technical difficulties. We're just going to have to do our best.
Thank you.
Okay, I don't see Jim yet. I guess we'll go ahead and move on with business. The first, I actually have one more item. There's some budget transfers that I'd like to add to the agenda. We'll do toward the end. Cindy, could you fill us in? I can't remember the exact wording that we need for the retirement resolutions. Those are resolutions that we have to do every couple of years.
Yeah, it's just that we need resolutions for Rob, John, and Phil Warner's retirement system. I think it's for 6 hours of retirement.
Okay.
No,
Does
I don't
anybody have any questions about
fix it.
those? Okay, I will make, I guess there's no way to do it without John and I voting right now. We've only got 3 board members. So I'll make a motion that we make a resolution to accept 6 hours of retirement for Rob LaPointe, John Rogers, and Phil Warner. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. All right, next up, we spoke last month about the snow and ice contract, and we did receive the final snow and ice contract. It was so close to the meeting, I just wanted to bring it back before you guys to see if you had any questions or concerns about that contract before I signed it. I emailed it out. Does anybody have any questions or concerns regarding that contract? Okay, so we will continue to mow and plow county roads as usual. Jamie, that's a 1-year contract, right? From memory?
Correct. That's what we were talking. That's what seemed to be the consensus around the county. Talking to the other towns, they all wanted to just kind of shoot for 1 year and kind of see how things are going to trickle down next year. And then go from there.
Okay, so is there a motion to authorize accepting the county snow and ice contract as
So
written?
moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, moving on, we have the sewer disinfectant system State Environmental Quality Review Act resolution to make. I am going to attempt to share my screen, and I don't know if that's going to go well or not. So please bear with me for a moment. You guys see my screen there with the resolution on it? Or is it still just our faces? Okay. All right. I'm gonna. Oops. Saying now that my internet is starting to go down. Let's hold on a second. If my internet's going down, I don't think Jamie and Cindy's is doing very well. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So, are there any questions regarding this resolution? Okay. So this states that our full environmental assessment form, part 1, which was prepared by MRB, determines that we're going to be a type 1 action. We've determined that it has also been reviewed by other agencies. Again. The town board determines that the most appropriate agency to ensure the coordination of this action will provide written notifications to involved agencies for the purposes of conducting the coordinated review under the seeker resolutions. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board does hereby declare its intent to be designated as the lead agency for the action and directs the town supervisor to sign and date the full environmental assessment form part 1. Be it further resolved that the town engineer is directed to provide notice hereof and involved in the interest agencies seeking their agreement or objection in writing before noon on Wednesday, July 15th. Would someone care to make that motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Jim, were you able to vote on that?
Yes, I did.
Okay, very good. I'm just writing this down here quick, guys. Okay. All right, Jim, we'll go back to your report. Sorry for moving on without you. We gave you a couple minutes, but.
I love paying this kind of money and not getting good Spectrum service.
Coming, it's coming.
Don't tell me that. I'm waiting for Spectrum at our house because Frontier is so bad.
Well, they're not coming over there till they come here to fix whatever is going on here every time I get on Zoom.
So you were at Owen Guile and then we lost you.
Okay. Owen Guile has a business. He runs out of his house. It's basically it's Opie's Gift Gallery over on Linwood Road. He's put in an application to build basically a roadside stand and put up a sign for his business and his wife. She has a little business. It's Deb's Goodies. So he's got a plan of cutting down a few trees, putting in a little more room for parking, and that kind of thing. So I don't know. That probably is going to the county, I believe, probably tomorrow night. Would that be true, Rob?
Yeah, I believe it is. Yep. And I think there's a chance that that might actually be commercially zoned property. That corner there has a significant amount of commercially zoned property, but I don't know if his specifically is or not. I haven't checked it.
Right. I think Matt actually might have mentioned something about that. He was double checking on that or something. I know that was mentioned. But yeah, he's looking for a sign and a stand there. Actually, the mask I have was actually made by him through a friend. that's where we got a whole bag full of them. So, other than that, after the public hearing the other night, Craig Prucha put in his resignation from the board. And as you see later on in our agenda, we have making Tim Welch a permanent member instead of just an alternate for that. I don't know if you've gotten to that yet, Rob, but we're going to be looking for somebody else to be an alternate too. Rob, your mic's not on.
Sorry, yeah, we haven't gotten that far yet.
Oh, okay. But that's about all I have.
Okay, then we are going to, I'm trying to get a shared screen going here again for the public interest order. I'd like to skip over the lawsuit talk. I'm just trying to get the public interest order open here. Okay, I'm gonna share the screen again. All right, can we all view the public interest order? I'm sorry, did you say you can see it or not?
Yes.
Okay, so this is for the water tank. We passed the public interest order over a year ago previously, but we need to redo it because the total price changed and that was included in the resolution. So I will summarize this. It states that the Consolidated Water District in the town of Pavilion is seeking to build a new water storage tank with 6,300 linear feet of 12-inch main, valves, hydrants, et cetera, so on, at a maximum cost of 1.808 mil. Whereas the order dated April 8, 2020, the town board called a public hearing to question the maximum estimated cost from 1.8 to 2.886, which is an increase of 1,078,000. And whereas the notice of the public hearing was duly published and posted in the manner within the time and under the law, and the town board has considered the evidence given at the public hearing, now therefore be it resolved that the town board of Pavilion Genesee County, in section 1, upon evidence given at the public hearing, is found it's determined and necessary in the public interest to increase and improve the facilities of the Consolidated Water District at the new maximum cost of $2,886,000, and the increase in the improvement is authorized and approved. This order shall take effect immediately. I will make that motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Is anyone opposed? Okay. All right. I had originally thought that we would go into an executive session to discuss this lawsuit matter. I don't think it's necessary, but I'm going to not give a lot of details here in the public sphere because it does involve litigation, which is one of the protected concepts behind an executive hearing. But I will speak to what has already been said at public meetings, but not get any details. If the board members would like more details about this, at the end of the meeting, we could enter an executive session. It's just kind of difficult to do over the Zoom platform. We can, so don't hesitate if you want to know more, but I'll give you the broad overview. There are a few towns in Genesee County who are exploring the possibility of litigating against the county to try to get their revenue sharing dollars that were revoked at the county meeting a month and a half ago. So they're wondering if other towns want to get involved. My attitude is this. It is undisputed that is the sole authority of the county to decide what they want to do with their revenue sharing. Remember, it's no longer sales tax. We are not in the sales tax agreement anymore that was signed between the city of Batavia and the county of Genesee. So this is revenue sharing. This is a budgetary item, and it is entirely within the purview of the county, just like our budgetary items are entirely in the purview of the town. Now, the county, it is, worrying that they essentially turned the valve off. But what they have said publicly, without fail, is that they're just hitting the pause button. They're not intending to deny us that money entirely this year. They want to wait and see what's going on with state aid, and they want to wait and see what's going on with the numbers before they decide how much they can give us. I believe that the county is going to do its best. And on our side of things, I fully intend to inspect and go through every line of it with a fine-tooth comb to make sure that we're getting every bit that we can from the county and that we are sharing the pain evenly. And that has been a statement made by a lot of people. It's a little more complicated than just, sales tax went down 25%, so they're going to cut us 25% because they're on the hook for a lot of state aid that we aren't, which also has a possibility of getting slashed. Hopefully we'll know more in a month. Signs are pointing to the federal stimulus package coming out in and around a month. In my conversations about the possibility of a lawsuit, my thought is, what is the best case scenario for these towns and villages that want to have a lawsuit? If a judge granted that the county needed and was legally bound to pay them the amount that was budgeted for this year, what's the county going to do next year when it's balls back in their court and we don't have a thing to say about it? We don't have any authority over it whatsoever. The county has already shown that when they feel that they are entitled to money, they're going to find a way to get it. So for the towns that did not sign on to the new water agreement that increased the usage amount from 60 cents to $1.20, the county turned around and they cut their revenue sharing to get that money. I am confident that if a lawsuit forced their hand on money this year, that at the minimum, that money would be missing next year. So I see a whole lot of lawyer fees. Frankly, I don't see a whole lot of chance that it's going to go in favor of the towns. And even if it does, I see the backlash as being just as painful, if not more, than what was gained on the lawsuit. But I want to get each and every one of your opinions on this because this is a town board matter, not a town supervisor matter. And if you need more details about it, I don't have a lot of details, but I could give you more in an executive session if you're interested.
I don't like the idea at all. I agree. I don't think it's not gonna improve the situation. It's just gonna cost you money in the end.
I agree.
I agree.
Okay, all right. Well, we will stay out of it from now. One final thought that I forgot to mention is that let's say we get a couple months down the road and something changed our minds on this whole thing. There's nothing to say that we can't bring our own lawsuit if we wanted to. So it's not like if you don't jump on this train now, you're gonna miss it. So okay. So
Well, like you say, the problem is they hold the cards, and it's their money to give us. It's not our money that we're sending to them. They have it before we can get it, and to go against them.
yeah, and to my point of view, it's all the more reason that when the dust settles on this whole thing, we need to work together with the county as partners to get an agreement in place. And, there were a lot of conversations about that when the sales tax agreement eclipsed. And at that point in time, it was all tied to the jail. Once they knew what they were going to have to pay for the jail, they would be open to having a discussion about an agreement. My attitude is that if you're going to go into discussions where one party has all the power, you're probably going to want to, you know, at least be as fair a player as you can. You don't want to spit in their eye when you go into that negotiation when they have all the power and you don't. So now, you know, with the COVID crisis and the economic, we've got a whole lot more variables in front of us regarding the future of an agreement like that. But at some point in the future, I fully intend to, you know, do everything in my power and in the town of Pavilion's power to try to get an agreement in place so that we know exactly what we're going to have. And then if we have an agreement and, you know, somebody didn't adhere to that agreement, then you have a leg to stand on.
I mean, the only part I really didn't like about what I read about the whole situation was that they put in there indefinitely. And I think that's part of the problem with the rest of the towns, are they're reading that of this may go on forever. I don't think that would go on forever. I think they said indefinitely due to the fact of what's going on. They don't know what's going to happen 3 months down the road. Neither do we. So they said, okay, indefinitely, maybe a bad choice of words, but so that's my take on it. I don't think they're pulling it from us for forever. It's just, you know, we're all in the same boat right now where, you know, things need to get rolling and sales tax needs to be made and all that kind of thing. And then, you know, then if there's a problem, like you say, then we would probably have to jump on it and do our own or whatever.
Yeah. Just kind of connecting with that conversation, they did get the numbers back for sales tax. The numbers that they get don't adhere strictly to a month. There's kind of crossover and bleed through in the way that the stuff is processed. But it looks like for the month of March, sales tax was down about 26%. For the month of April, sales tax was down 36%. So, you know, we've got one more month there where we were in full New York pause to see where we land for that period of time. And then, you know, around the fall, we're going to start seeing what the sales tax generation is for right now. So there's a significant lag to the entire thing. But I can tell you that from my conversations with county legislators, they are very concerned about sales tax, but they are just as, if not more concerned about the governor's statements about slashing state aid. And the governor is putting all of his chips into a federal stimulus, you know, that's going to provide local aid and he hopes state aid. I have been told that the prospects for FedStim 4 are getting better, that there's a bipartisan bill being called the SMART bill, that might have weird connotations in this state, but in Washington, that seemed like a good name. So they are looking to hopefully pass that in July, and that as of right now, local relief is very much in the mix. So hopefully that will go through and that we'll get direct aid from the federal government, and then we'll just have to wait and see what the state is going to do. Right now, the state is sitting on a significant amount of money. I can't give you the number because I don't want to remember it incorrectly. It's significant that they received from the federal government at the very beginning of this entire process. And the state has not distributed that to anyone. State's attitude right now is, well, you didn't ask for it, so we don't think you need it. We're just going to keep it here. So there's quite a push in the legislature now to make it very clear to the governor that the localities do need that aid. And the federal government is using that as a leverage that, look, we already gave you money, you didn't give it, you didn't distribute it. Why are we going to give you more? So it's very political. And I'm, you know, a little ant on the field, so I can only really gauge what I'm getting told, but that's what I've been told on the whole thing. Some possible good news, some bad news, and, you know, we'll let the people with connections to the state and federal government advocate and hash it out. if there's any other big movements, I will let you all know. Okay, we will move on from there. I think that puts us at Tim Welch's appointment to a full planning board member. I have it written down here. Okay, Cindy, I will give you a typed version of this tomorrow, but so this would be a resolution to appoint Tim Welch to the term vacated by Craig Prucha, set to expire on December 31st of 2022 to the Town Planning Board. Does anybody have any questions? Jim, do you want to make the motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Congratulations, Tim. You are a full-fledged member now. Did everybody have a chance to look over the excess workers' comp that I sent out? I just sent it out today. So if you haven't, no worries. We don't need to take that up until July. But I thought since I sent it out, I would just ask. We've passed this in years past. I have to admit, I haven't gone through it again with a fine-tooth comb this year, so I can't give you the exact figures on it. But essentially, it boils down to there is a window of coverage, a coverage gap in workers' comp. I can't give you the numbers on it exactly right now, but this coverage covers that.
The only question I had, I looked over the paperwork, was I didn't see an actual cost.
Oh, she didn't include that on it. All right, let's go ahead and we'll table that for next month, because yeah, I fully admit I have not been through it all.
I think it runs about $1,300 a year, but I'm not
Yeah.
positive.
No, I think you're right.
$750,000 policy or something. It's a big number. But I didn't know exactly what it was for the policy. That was the only thing I didn't see on there.
I will go through it in detail and we can have a full-throated conversation about it in July. Does anybody object to tabling that?
No.
No.
Okay, I do have a couple of budget transfers here because of our Hometown Hero banners, which I want to say thank you to Cindy and thank you to Jamie and your crew for those. They are a bright spot in this town. I have heard nothing but praise and, you know, straight up elation from some people about those. In this troubling time, that was a great surprise for our little town. And Cindy, that was your baby and you took it and ran with it. And Jamie, if it wasn't for you and your guys, you know, you really put the pedal to the metal to get those up before Memorial Day. So hats off.
I saw a ton of comments and a lot of pictures online, and I had a bunch of people asking where to go and how to get them. So I said, contact Town Hall, contact Cindy. It's her baby. So very nice job.
Kudos to the
Great
whole
job.
crew.
That was wonderful.
Thank you. But I want to thank Jamie and the guys. They did a good job too. They really got around and got them up for me. And I've had 2 so far for next year. I have. So people have paid for. So we're coming along.
Good.
Nice
Okay.
job, Amy.
So the
All the
budget,
guys, it's all the guys.
yeah, they did a,
All the
they did
boys.
a real good. So the budget transfers are in regards to that program. Now, you'll recall we took money for those banners. So it's not that this is all coming out of the town coffers, but because we work on appropriations and expenditures, we have the unknown appropriation that we didn't know until we got the full number of banners. So that came out of the town celebrations line, which doesn't have enough money in it to pay for it. Of course, we know that the revenues from that will pay for the program. But we need to transfer $1,500 from 8510.4, which is a community beautification, to 7550.4, which is the celebration, and transfer $100 from 8810.4, which is cemetery contractual, 275.50.4 to cover the cost. In addition to that transfer, I would request a transfer in the highway department. We got one big bill from Suitcoat for the road work, so we billed the entire thing to the CHIPS line just to make it easy rather than splitting the invoice. But that, you know, it supersedes our CHIPS funding. So I would request that we transfer $22,852 from the road work line, DA 5110.4, to the CHIPS line 5112.2. That's just one road work line to another road work line. Does anybody have any questions about those transfers? Would anyone care to make the motion to approve those?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, and Cindy, I will provide you with that. You don't need to write it
Okay.
down here.
All right, good, I didn't. Just to let you know, the banners, we charged $125 for the banners. The banner itself was $85 and the bracket was $31. So the total for the town was $116 so we made a little money, but
Yeah, it
there's other
covers the cost
expenses too.
quite well.
It covered, yeah,
Yep.
covered it all.
We didn't cover the maintenance or the labor to put them
Guys,
up, but I think
right.
that,
Right,
yeah,
right, so,
what a good little town like ours should do. And, you know, we all the departments try to scratch each other's backs, and I'd like to keep it that way. It's the way we should operate in a community like this. Okay, moving on to information. We have received word about the state CHIPS funding and how that is looking like it's going to go down. We were told that we have been slotted for our full amount, but right now the state is going to distribute 80% of that CHIPS funding and withhold 20% until after a federal stimulus package. So again, the governor is waiting. What he has said in his hearings is he's going to do a 20% cut to municipalities and counties, a 20% cut to schools, and a 20% cut to hospitals. I don't know if he's going to be true to his word on that, and that is if he doesn't get any money from the federal government to cover the costs, according to him. So we don't have any more to go on than that, but right now what they are saying is they're going to give us 80% of our CHIPS. And you may recall from last month when we discussed this, we are actually withholding 20% of our total highway roadwork money. So 20% of CHIPS is significantly less than the 20% of the roadwork. Our roadwork budget is right around 300,000, CHIPS is right around 150,000. So we're still holding.
Did we lose Rob?
We lost Rob and Jamie, I think.
No, I see Jamie. Lost Rob.
Jamie, can you hear us?
He's not moving.
Get a pulse. They are gone.
They just disappeared.
Got Jesse Goots there now.
Anything to say, John?
Well, I was just trying to see what we could do.
I just sent him a message and let him know that yeah, we can't find him. So I thought I was going out again.
Is Cindy still there?
He said he's trying to reconnect right now. So hold tight.
Do we still have Cindy or no?
I do not see Cindy listed either.
All three of them.
So I don't know if she was down at town hall too or not. I don't know.
It's a conspiracy.
Yeah, that's the loudest I ever heard Cindy talk.
Well, Cindy's back. You there, Cindy?
Okay. Okay, we're having technical.
John, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
There you are, Cindy.
Okay, sorry about that, folks. We had technical difficulties down here at town.
You don't even have Spectrum.
Yeah, we got a check against Spectrum and now one against Frontier. I'm gonna leave my video off just in case we're overloading the upload capacity of the town building down here. Okay. No, you're fine. I don't know if Jamie's gonna log back in or not, but I think we're done with his part of the show anyways.
Well, if we're on, he should be on.
Okay, here's Jamie coming in. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. Gotta love these times we live in. Okay.
Jamie, can you move?
So
Okay, Jamie.
I'm here.
All right, we're good now.
I was droning on and on about chips. I'll try to make it shorter. Right now, they're going to withhold 20% of our chips. We're holding 20% of our roadwork budget, so that's twice the amount that the state is withholding. I'm getting told my connection is unstable again. Okay, so we're gonna wait and see, but we're good right now. Our strategy that we approved last month seems to be working out all right, and so we'll just have to stay tuned. Moving on from there, the Pavilion Cemetery Associations have expressed that they are in need of new individuals in the community that might be interested in running the cemetery associations. If the cemetery association disbands, the town by law has to absorb the cemetery. So it is in all of our best interest to have healthy cemetery associations. So I am putting it out there that if anybody is interested or anybody is aware of someone who might be interested in doing some sort of role with the Pavilion Cemetery Association, to have them get in touch, and we'll see if we can't alleviate some of that pressure so we don't have to be running it at the town level. Moving on from there, I don't have any other information. We do have our procedurals to approve. I would like to go ahead and approve those quick while we've got a valid internet connection, and then we'll ask if anybody has anything else to add to the meeting. Is there a motion to approve the May 13th minutes?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Is there a motion to approve the warrant, the operating statement, the bank reconciliation, and the clerk report?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, are there any board members who would like to add anything? No? Okay, audience members, I am attempting to unmute you all. Doesn't look like it's working, but if anybody would like to add anything to the meeting tonight, you can feel free to unmute yourself and go ahead and present to the board. Okay, I don't think anybody has anything that they want to say. Just as an FYI, the planning board meeting next Wednesday is going to be on the Zoom platform. All the login credentials will be posted on the website as usual. The recording of this meeting will get posted on the website as soon as I can get it uploaded to YouTube, and it can be viewed there. Anything else, anybody?
I'm good.
Is there a motion to close the meeting at 7:53 p.m.?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. All right. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night,
Aye.
everyone.
Good night.